bit as conservative as anybody else on this committee.
I think,
Are you serious?
I think it's important for me to make the point too, because if you do endorse these and they are course offerings for students who elect, we may not be able to offer all of them because of staffing issues. You
Right,
understand?
which has happened in the past
So
also.
yes, it has. The international business last year that was adopted was not running this year.
I was in the middle of something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But these are being given to juniors and seniors, and I think that Michael has said correctly, that once they're a junior or senior, they ought to be made more worldly. We need to broaden their ideas of what the world's about, or again, when they get into college, they're gonna, that first few days are gonna be traumatic on them.
So let me clarify this just shortly, okay? I'm not concerned that our students don't know this stuff because frankly, they know more about this than their parents do. And I think it's extremely important that when we have our classes that perspectives are introduced that are balanced. Not the topics themselves, but that students are encouraged to think about all sides of arguments. To me, these are just ways to try on and thinking about complex social issues, of topics that are going to be part of their world and currently are part of their world that they're thinking about. We had a freshman in here talking to us about Model UN, who clearly has been exposed to a lot of topics which we might have been afraid of even when I graduated from high school. These are topics that were rather taboo, but we knew about them and understood them. What I want to be sure is that there isn't one perspective that predominates in this class. And that is really what I think John understands it. Am I clear about this?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
I wouldn't presume that they're.
It's a concern I have about all of our classes, that there is a balanced perspective and that students can take on whatever values, try on different ideas, but do it in a way that is not destructive or where they feel like they're
But that's
supposed to
already
take on.
assumed in this whole.
I don't think
paragraph,
those
right.
assumptions can be made, and that's my personal opinion.
Any further comment? Can I have a motion to accept the new course offering that's proposed by Mr. Bernard for the high school?
So moved.
I-
Do it one at a time?
No.
And I will second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
John, of course.
Ski trip, yes, I have that.
Oh, the ski trip, that's right.
Do you have a baseball trip?
That didn't come in time to this agenda.
Yes, the ski trip. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Kathy? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The ski trip, we have endorsed these, or the committee has endorsed these in the past, under the umbrella of the Adventure Club,
Right.
but where it's an out-of-state excursion to Loon Mountain, which I believe is in Lincoln, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So the Adventure Club is looking to schedule a trip for the weekend of the 23rd of January, a day trip, Sunday, January 23rd. So given that it's out-of-state travel, that's the reason I asked Mrs. Willis to put it on the agenda.
This is totally voluntary, it's a club. I just want to make sure there'll be enough chaperones for, how many students will be going?
We don't know yet, because we haven't started the sign-up yet, because we didn't know if it was going to be endorsed
Okay,
or not.
but you'll make sure there'll be enough for the 1 to 10.
It's 1 to 10, right? And then, yeah.
Last year it said 22 students and 5 chaperones attended.
Five chaperones will probably ski the whole day.
They are, it's the same group. That's interesting
Right.
again.
Any questions on this? Can I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Any further discussion? In favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous, 1 abstention.
Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. McKay, I believe you want to inform us of your new, or Kathy must inform us of your new afternoon.
New afternoon dismissal procedural policy.
It was, the write-up was submitted by Mr. McKay, and it was included in your December 20th packet.
Right.
He included great detail regarding a live pickup at dismissal time, as well as the dismissal plan and sign-up procedures. It is a pilot program that was implemented January 4th, and it will continue for 6 weeks. I'm not sure if you'd like to speak any more to
Well, I
that.
think you did a really good job. I just wanted to say, I would love to participate before, and that's no strong.
Right.
But I really felt strongly about starting on a return from a break in school and a fresh start, everybody aligning with procedures. The goal of the Blackwell pickup system, the overall goal was to increase the level of safety at dismissal, and also to align good school practices with the practices that are natural as well as the rules. Begin this is a school council initiative, and it had been a topic of discussion since my arrival in the school. We conducted a survey, and 74% of the respondents to the survey were in full agreement on a 6-week trial of the Blackwell pickup system. So that was when we really started to focus on the design of the plan, collaborated with the North Reading Police Department, Officer Tilton, wonderful throughout that process, and worked with the staff around the logistics of the building. We began the implementation upon our return from the school break. Day one was interesting. It's certainly a learning experience. It did go much longer than we thought, but with any change, I think the process of change is tough for everyone involved. We were very excited upon the conclusion of the second day because we had shaved approximately 16 minutes off of the first of day one, and then today was a wonderful day. We were able to actually dismiss the whole school in about 12 minutes, and that's quite a feat when you consider we have 408 students exiting the building. It was very fulfilling to see at 2:58 that everyone had successfully navigated the live line and we were ready for one more dismissal of 6 bridges at the classroom. So it's going well. There are challenges and there are certainly learning curves within it. But in approximately 4 more weeks, I'll be reaching out to the families to get their input, reaching out to the staff members in the building and getting their input and see if there's any changes that are warranted or do we continue forward or where do we go from there.
This is the same policy that the badge pretty much has in place.
That's correct,
It's very similar to the badge and it's very similar to the
But it also has,
and I get to drive in the back from the parent, so I'm well versed in that one.
will keep us up to speed. I think anything that can, the traffic issues we have around all our schools are problematic. So any solution or system that makes it work for the kids and for the parents and the traffic is.
It's very successful with that, and we're also, the logistics within the building and who's dismissing who and those things, it becomes very clear with the medical protocol like this in place. And so the overall safety piece was huge for us, and we feel pretty strongly that right now this is working really well.
When I first came to the district, Glenn and I had a conversation about the dismissal that had been in place at the building. He was very concerned about that. So he had been working with the school council to find an alternative.
That's how it goes.
Excellent. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, I forget where we are on the agenda. I think we go back to continued business, right?
Yes.
Back to the start.
In speed dating fashion.
Yes, MSBA, SSBC update.
Yeah, in speed dating fashion. The interviews for the OPM were held on Tuesday, December 7th, from 5:30 to 9. There were 3 firms that had been interviewed, with PMA Instruction emerging as the firm that was selected. So the town administrator negotiated an initial contract with PMA. It was submitted to MSBA. We were informed last Friday that MSBA has approved the selection of PMA's consultants. We are very excited about this. I received an email very late on Friday afternoon. So we did not need to go before the OPM review panel in Boston. So we have received notification of approval, and now the town administrator will sign the contract with PMA because we needed MSBA approval before signing the contract. So that's being facilitated as we speak. There's also, the middle school SOI is being refreshed. The Board of Selectmen voted at the January 3rd Board of Selectmen meeting to support the refresh. You voted on December 6th, so I'm in the process. I received my password to go into the, on the web-based system to refresh the SOI. We need to do that before the 26th, so I'm looking to do that this week. And the next secondary school building committee is scheduled for Tuesday, January 18th, beginning at 6:30 in the North Reading and our OPM will be joining us. His name is Chris Singler. So he will be in attendance. So we're moving right along.
So next step is architecture.
Design
design
selection.
firm, right?
Yes.
Architectural firm.
Correct.
So that'll be done in March, hopefully,
Yes,
by March.
by March. Well, yes, the process is underway for advertising,
It's gonna be in
design
the paper this
firms.
week, I think, Greg
Correct.
said.
We had hoped to be on the February agenda for the design selection panel at MSBA, but it was full, so that had to be bumped out to March.
But
But
that-
it's still within the time.
Right, it has no impact on us going to a possible November, going to October town meeting, and then an election in November or that
We have to set a special election
Right,
anyway.
we're
There's
gonna
no
have to,
election
right.
scheduled for the rest of the year.
Right.
So we're gonna have to do it anyway, so we have some flexibility here. But, again, the selection process was interesting. All of the members, I think, or almost every single member of the secondary school building committee was present. And then the voting members voted. And it was a pretty, actually a pretty close process as
Very
amongst the
good.
three finalists.
Very
So,
good.
you were there, right?
Yeah, they're all good.
But, we are moving along. I know at times it seems like it may be dragging, but it's not. Thanks to the superintendent who's really spearheaded this effort, we are really pushing forward. We're at that next stage now, once we choose the designer, we can start getting into the feasibility study. So, I think it's moving along well. I really do.
And I would say that, there are a lot of things that have to happen as we go along with this project. One of them is gonna be the market, these are all mostly SSBC related. One of them is gonna be marketing. We've had some, really early preliminary discussions about talking about if we get a new project, whether it's a high school, whether it's a joint project, whatever it is, we have to start talking about at some point what we're gonna, what we recommend for the buildings that are left behind.
Yep.
So there's gonna be a lot of work behind the scenes that we have to start, moving on also, in addition to all the stuff that's happening with the MSBA. But it's still a slower process than it was in the old day.
Oh, it's a slower process because we're not on our own. We have to
Right.
follow